Okay, so the thing I was going to mention in the last episode, Star Citizen 317. I don't know when the videos, if they've gone up, but before I recorded this, I recorded Star Citizen. I actually recorded footage for 2 videos, one meant for like FPS and one meant for dogfighting. I don't know how that's gonna go, but yeah, that should be good. So it's a thing of like, okay, people really like, people have been really positive about 317, which I think is which is good, definitely. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. To me, it's not a bad patch. It's just and you know, I mentioned like, oh, it's the patch where it's like that makes me realize I need friends to play the game with, because the AI is getting better, and they're you know, like, you know, I'm actually going down in bunkers instead of just instantly dying, although that did happen kind of in my recording, which was interesting. I went down, and then before I had time to even react to going down, putting out a beacon or suiciding back, I just died. So but you know, but really it's just good. It's just good. They're getting better AI. It's not perfect by any means. There's still a lot of problems, but like the inventory system, you know, in 314, you know, it was okay. But, and you know, people realized obviously that, you know, this is the first iteration. It needs work. You know, it still needs work. And you know, the looting part of inventory, well, you know, like, sorry, okay, the thing that, well, okay, the thing that gets me about the inventory is I would want to say aversion, but it's not necessarily an aversion as much as it is just they haven't found a way, or have not worked on a way, to implement like multi-select or any sort of thing like that, because like I could go through, you know, and sell a bunch of loot that I don't care about, but that would require going to the sell tab, clicking hitting quick sell, and then waiting like a second for it to load a quick sell, and then having to go back to the sell tab, click quick sell, wait a second, and like, this is not fast. This is not, like, this is painful to go through this UI, which is not a good thing. A really bad thing, in fact. Like, it needs to be, they need to do better. And then on the actual looting side, like, you know, so they added the ability to add containers, but I'm going to tell you what, if I can make an assumption, okay? If I can make an assumption, we only have the 1/8 SCU boxes, right? And if you go around and look in like stores, you'll see that one SCU box, you'll see like a version that's a very similar style that's clearly like, you know, 2 of them strapped together. You know, instead of a 1/8, it's a 1/4 SCU box. And you know, there's a bunch of other containers you can find, and you know, before they added all of the loot containers, you could see all of those containers used somewhere else. So like, you know, all they had to do in terms of art assets was just maybe add a little bit of animation to them, you know? It wasn't like they had to go out and make a bunch of new assets for the loot containers themselves. The reason, I would assume, that we have the 1/8 and not the 1/4 animations Nothing else. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head besides, you know, maybe some jankiness with how would that actually work, placing it and stuff. But like, if you couldn't, you know, like I think there are also containers that you can actually pick up with the tractor beam, but you can't actually like grab and pick them up. I'm not 100% on that, actually. I could be very much wrong. But the point being, like, what if you could literally just tractor beam all those loot containers and then just put them onto your ship? That would be so much simpler and so much easier, but they haven't got the animations for it on game side. Also, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going here. Yeah. So that's my main deal with that. There are of course smaller things as well, like, you know, like the weapon, how they change the weapons around, and then the inventories in the shops is like, oh, you'll sell MacFlex arms in black for the leg armor piece, but not for the arm armor piece. And like, seriously, you went and you sorted through all of the things. You actually made changes to the inventories several times, and you haven't like gotten that type of stuff. Like, what the fuck? Come on. This is just like trying to be painfully annoying, honestly. Like, somebody made the deliberate decision to be like, no, I'm not going to use... No, we're not... I'm going to put, like, the arm pieces and the leg pieces of the same color in 2 different places, and you're not going to be able to buy them at the same place. Or maybe you can here, but you can't over here. You know, like, I don't know. That is, like, what the fuck. But it's also not that big of a deal. And eventually... they'll correct the, and you know, there'll be a bunch of things. Oh, also, they don't have the Reliant paints. You cannot buy a paint for your Reliant, even though it's been in the game, even though they have been in game for, or they've been available on the store for like a year. Which is like, I'm not gonna buy it, and like, I'm not gonna buy it, you know, with real money, because I don't really like it that much, right? Like the paints that much, but I'll buy it in game. Why not? It's a thing to buy in game, thing to grind towards. And those are the kind of things that I want to do. I don't necessarily want the money as much. I just want to enjoy, I just want to have a fun time, you know? Also, I had gone to that one space so I could specifically I could use a 4 crystal. And I assume I still have a 4 crystal, but, you know, it's, eh. Also, did I mention I'm out of soup? I'm out of soup. The world's ending now. Which does actually remind me of a thing I'll mention in the next episode. I don't know. I guess. I haven't watched... Well, it's a thing. I haven't watched too much of it, but... I'm not going to talk directly about it, but yeah. 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 Mm-hmm.